Good morning, beloveds. How's everybody doing today? How was that full moon eclipse for you all? That was amazing. Good morning. How you doing? Good. Say that again. Yeah, I think you'll be here too. Yours need to be fixed upstairs too? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Greetings, everybody. How y'all doing? I'm sorry, I'm talking to my neighbor. Okay, so that full moon last night was incredible. I tend to sometimes I fall asleep just because I yesterday I spent the entire day at the beach. I was at the beach all weekend with my son on one day and then with a girlfriend on the day before that. And when I came home last night, I was super tired and then I fell asleep and I woke up at like 9:40 to get ready to go to bed. And I was closing my window and I saw this light and I looked out and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the moon." And I could see it half dark, which was really powerful to me. And so I just sat with it for a while and then it's like, okay, I'm going to sleep. So the moon today is Monday and Monday rules the moon. I can't really see anybody's postings also because the sun is glaring in my face. But the moon is, the moon rules the night and the night is the negativity. And we think of negativity as something that is bad that we should avoid. But in order for us to be in balance, we need both negative and positive energy to create momentum. And um, and the moon is the feminine and the sun is the masculine. So the sun generates electricity. So it gives energy. And you can look at that with men. They give energy when they have in their sexual experience they ejaculate. They give electricity. Women, in our experience, we are receptive. We pull the electricity in, and that yin yang experience duplicates itself throughout everything in our system. If it is alive, if it is forward moving, it needs a negative and a positive. Um, and one of the things that's really fascinating to me that I'm like, let me just say that I'm deeply compelled by what's happening in the world and this experience of this man going to Buffalo to kill innocent black people. And what's happening on the planet right now is it's really important that we understand that we are in the dark ages. We are leaving the dark ages, but we have been in the dark ages for a great period of time. It's very important to understand that. And I shared this before, like, so when we're in the dark, it just means that our relationship to light has been, um, our relationship to light has been shifted or handicapped. Like when we are in the dark ages, the light doesn't penetrate our psyche in the way that allows us to actually understand our oneness, our connection to one another. So that's how that works out. But it's really important for us as melanated beings to begin to do rituals on a daily basis to protect yourself. You're going to have to do it. You really don't have a choice. You're going to have to protect yourself. And what does that mean? You're going to have to clean out your own psyche and consciousness. You're going to have to wash away the narratives of the fucking last 400 years that are rooted in what we call white supremacy, because those ideas, because we live in a mental reality that is governed by thought, the parts of us that tell ourselves white people are this or white people are that, we invite that energy into us, right? We invite those experiences in. And it's a wonder, like, these motherfuckers have been trying to kill us for 400 years. Like, it is, if we had a list of all of the major crimes, the things that have happened, like what happened in Oklahoma, that shit has happened since we have been in this motherfucker. Okay, doing that. And these are rituals. And when I don't like to say this stuff out loud because I get that it's difficult to hear. I get that people make it seem like we're crazy, like these seem like isolated incidents, but they are not. Help you I cannot say it enough. These are not isolated incidents. These are, I mean, this person did this at a Scorpio full moon. That is a ritual, okay? At an eclipse, that is a ritual. And what is a ritual doing? A ritual during the season of death, a death ritual. Literally, they're drawing power. They're creating fear inside of us, which when we become fearful, we generate a frequency that tells the universe that we are subject and vulnerable to external things. So we have to do rituals to protect our energy, to protect our mind, to align ourselves with higher frequencies. If we do not, we will continue to be subject to these motherfuckers' nonsense. We will. And so the ritual is to protect yourself, but also it is to return these energies back to you, return them from whence they came. Yesterday I was at the beach and I've been doing these rituals and learning this stuff for the last decade or so. But because we have melanin, we are attuned, the melanin attunes us to the environment. And yesterday when I was at the beach, there were some kids, some young boys that were close to us within, maybe 3 or 4 feet throwing sand. And I was like, oh shit, they're throwing sand and I don't want that to get on me. So I saw him pick up the shovel with the sand. They're kids. It's normal. This is not even a big deal. And he's about to throw it on his friend. Maybe they're like 9 or 10 years old. And he's about to throw it on his friend. And I literally and let me just say this, because I'm new at this, I'm still learning how it works, but I know that it fucking works, right? But because I'm new at it, I'm always a little bit like, oh my gosh. So I saw him about to throw the shovel with the sand in my direction at his friend who was between the two of us, like an eclipse, right? He was in between his friend and myself. And I just lifted my hands like that. I did that instinctually, lifted my hands. And in that moment, the wind came and blew the sand right back, and it went into the face of the little boy who threw it. Because that is what happens when we align our melanin, our intuitive gifts to the atmosphere, right? To the environment, so that the environment then begins to work in our behalf. It works for our truth, for our power. And so the sand never even touched me. It literally went right back on the little boy's face. Now, I don't want him to be harmed, but he was in a creative act. The law of cause and effect works for children just like it does for adults. You cannot escape your creations, right? So I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't learn how to protect yourselves energetically, these motherfuckers are about to try to have a field day because they are running out of energy. They don't have any power anymore. They're literally done with power. So they're feeding off of our energy. They're feeding off of our fear, feeding off of our sadness, feeding off of our regret, feeding off of our shame. They're feeding from it. I mean, these motherfuckers are bottom feeders. They really are. And unless you are going to do what it takes to harmonize yourself with the energies of the environment, you're susceptible. You're susceptible to their nonsense, and you and your family, right? So for those of us who, that's all I really have to say. So it is my prayer that anyone who has ill intent, who is not a black person, who has ill intent towards black people, that their intentions would begin to eat them alive, that their intentions will begin to swell inside of their systems, inside of their family systems, and that they would begin to self-destruct with their own intentions towards us, that whatever they intend for a black person, for someone who has been in this country and built this country, and not just this country, but the Caribbean, if there is ill intent, whatever it is, it cannot touch the person that they intended it for. It can only go as far as their own intention and comes right back and begins to eat them right where they are. They will be devoured by their own intention. And I don't care what their status is. I don't care if they are police officers. I don't care if they're government officials. I don't care what they are. Whatever their intention is towards black people who have been here as builders of this reality. We are the governors of this reality. We just have lost remembrance of it. We have to do the work to fucking remember. And let me tell you guys, if you don't do it, it's on you, right? I teach this stuff. I understand what we're up to. If you don't understand it, come fucking sit with me and learn how to do it so that you can get yourself free and get your family free. This system is dead. It is dead. And they have to continue to keep up these old protocols and rituals in order to keep us sucked in. I understand that this sounds crazy. What I'm saying sounds absolutely, but if you don't understand it, go look at all of the things that they do. It's happening on a regular basis. And if you can't understand that you need to do the work to harness your power, to create a force field around you and your family, if you don't know how to do it, find somebody who can fucking teach you how to do it. Otherwise, we're gonna be dinner. It's as simple as that. So the moon today is in Sagittarius, and the moon rules the mother. It rules matter, right? And so we just had an eclipse, and an eclipse means that there is a reboot, like our inner world is shut down and turned back on, like you do your computer. Matter comes from our inner world, as above, so below. So all you are doing is understanding that what you think and what you feel has to materialize in this reality. So if you are in patterns of self-hatred, things that we're subject to, the stuff that we were, like everything in our reality is all about black people hating themselves and fighting one another and all that. You have to turn that fucking shit off. You have to turn it off. It is glamoring you. It is mesmerizing you and convincing you that you are at the effect of these things. And the reason we are so susceptible is because we are water-based people. We are emotionally driven people naturally. When you are connected to the spirit realm, when you're connected to the element of water, your emotions have more power. And because we are we are influential, so like you see water will take on any shape that it's given. And we are the water people, so we will take on any shape. But if you take command over that, you can dominate your own field. And then when you learn how to dominate your own field, you have to create an internal frequency that is aligned with truth, right? And aligned with universal truth. And when you align yourself with universal truth, you ascend in your consciousness and nothing can touch you. Nothing that is misaligned, out of alignment with your truth, can touch you. But you have to do the work, and it's not the easiest work to do. You have to be committed and devoted to your practices. Like when I tell you I live inside of ritual, I am constantly in ritual to align myself and listen and hear the voice of spirit that we all have a connection to. I'm not fucking special. Spirit is connected to every fucking motherfucker here, right? Like, and there are no, all you have to do is get yourself to that frequency. If you get yourself to that frequency, you're there. How do you do it? You align to the cycles, and nothing will be able to touch you. Literally, things will be tripped up. Like things will try to come to your way, but then their efforts will be thwarted because nothing can access you when you're in alignment and dimension with the higher powers of God that are within you. It's within you. It's inside of you. We've been tricked to believe that you have to believe in Jesus. That's bullshit. It's all lies. You don't need to believe in Jesus. We've been tricked to believe that we need to vote. All that voting shit is giving your power away. What is all the voting doing? Is it getting us the laws in place that it's going to help us from being at the effect of all of these systems that are here to devour us? They are not. Why vote then? What is the point in voting when what you're doing is not being supported? What's the point of it? But the whole world is feeding from our energy. Because we built this America and we put out all of these out of our blood and bone, everything feeds from us. Everything. So it is important for us to learn how to take what you need first. That's why I keep saying, as women, we're getting these relationships and we give our power away before you even understand what your power is like. If you don't understand what your power is like, then why are you aligning it with somebody else who's going to thrive from your power when you don't understand how your power is? But that's what we do because we've been conditioned to do it. So you have to understand your frequency, understand the energies that are within you, and then you can say, okay, I understand how this works, so I'm good at this. I can share this way. I can do. But otherwise, you're just giving all your power away. You're just giving it away without even understanding that you're giving it in ways that is in a detriment to yourself, but benefiting everyone else around you, feeding from you, thriving from you, and you in and of yourself being drained from all of your power because Black people are that fucking magical. It's just the most absurd thing ever. And because we don't study, because we're ignorant and we don't allow ourselves to learn what it really means to be a melanated being, and we're anchored in all of these false religions that tell us that, some white God is going to say, it's just the most absurd shit of it. I mean, it is so absurd to me. And because we believe these things, we make ourselves susceptible to things that are happening, like these massacres. This is a massacre. It's a ritual that is a massacre. And so every day before you leave the house, it is important for you to call in your ancestors, to do some sort of ritual to protect yourself so nothing can come nigh your dwelling place. And if you don't, then you're susceptible to all the things that they are. They are vampiric. They are only vampiric. They are only vampire because they don't have a soul. The sun brings the power of the soul. And if you cannot absorb the energy of the sun, if you cannot absorb the energy of the sun, the light, you see right now I'm sitting in the sun, I'm absorbing it. I don't have on anything. I don't have on anything. Actually, I have on coconut oil. I do have on coconut oil, right? Because the energy of the sun, and we're told like, oh, that's going to age you. That's going to make you old. So then we start trying to protect ourselves and from the light of the sun, which is your power. But they need sunblock because their skin collapses because their molecules in their skin is not strong enough, so it ages them, right? So they need it, but you don't need it. But if you believe that you need it, then you do need it. If you buy into that, then you need it because you have bought into a frequency that is rooted in white supremacy. And whiteness is not a real race. It is a false race. So all of the things that they have to practice to keep themselves alive are false ideas because none of that shit is real. I can't say it enough. I cannot say it enough. So it is also important that we really learn how to work with our darkness, that we learn how to take, when that energy comes, to send it back, to not be afraid of it. If you're afraid of it, then you invite it in. But if you know that it has no power over you, like I said, the kid at the beach threw the sand, I just lifted my hands up and the wind came and blew the sand right back at him. The sand didn't even touch me. We have got to learn. We've got to learn how to do this work. And if we don't learn it, then we just continue to make ourselves susceptible to these frequencies. So in this eclipse energy, the eclipse energy is going to be here for really 6 months. And, I encourage you, come sign up for the Pluto class or the Mercury in retrograde class. It's The Mercury retrograde class lasts about another 2 weeks or so, but we're going to have an incredible speaker this week that talks about how we can begin to reprogram our mind and understand that our language and everything, all of this stuff is a real thing. And one of the tricks is that these white systems have gotten us believing that none of the stuff that is our power works. We believe that it's nothing. We think it's crazy, but it's not. It's fucking real. So, the government uses it. These systems are using all these things, and because it's the stuff that our ancestors created. We are our ancestors reborn. We are in a forgotten state. We're in the sunken place. Most of us are in the sunken place. And when we begin to retrain ourselves and learn how to use our power, these powers reactivate inside of us, and you can walk freely through the universe, through this system, protected in every single way. All right, you all. I don't have nothing else to say. I'm kind of, am I pissed off? I'm a little bit frustrated. Like, I look forward to the day when I hear the evidence of, like, oh my God, their whole family got sick and died of cancer. You know what I mean? Their whole family caught such and such and such. And like that's the evidence that I'm asking the universe to show. Like these people who do these heinous acts and who have for 400 years, that they start literally, because they start literally reaping the energetic that they are creating, because they are locked in their own energy system. And so it boomerangs. As soon as it goes out, it comes back. And it's important for us to understand that we have the power to do that. We're that powerful. Yeah. It's important for us to understand that we have the power to return anything with what it was intended. We can return it back. We have to understand that we can do that. We have to. And here's another thing. And guns are ridiculous. Like, we don't need guns if we understand how this power works. Remember that scene in Black Panther where the two women were going after the guy, and she was like, guns are so primitive. They are. The guns are primitive. But they have to use guns because they don't have psychic power. But we have psychic power. And we're not using it. We're not using our psychic power. So learn how to use your fucking psychic power so we can shut these motherfuckers down and have them afraid of doing anything. Have them fucking fearful of doing anything. Like, just remember that the thought that it takes to do harm to someone is a really powerful energy, and that those thoughts can turn against them. That if that energy is inside of you to do harm, that energy will begin to eat you alive, and you cannot do any harm to another person. Come on now, you guys gotta fucking get it. Fucking get it. All right. I love you guys very, very much. I do. I love you very, very much. And this is my mission in life. Before I leave this planet, which isn't for a while, not for a while, everyone in my community will know how to live in accordance with the laws of nature and how to use that energy to generate a new reality and to protect themselves and their family. Because we are not here. Okay, greetings, y'all. My stream got cut off. So I had to come inside. The sun was too hot. So, at any rate, you all, like I said, this idea of really learning to protect ourselves, and as this old age comes undone, the old age of Pisces, where these sort of collective things are beginning to dissolve, our ability to stand in our individual power is going to be required more and more and more. And so we have to ask ourselves, when we see these things happening in the world, what's being asked of us? What's being required of us? And for me, it's like really just being able to protect yourself, like not being subjected to this fucking nonsense that is just, it's just profoundly ridiculous is all it is. And it can be scary and all of that, but we have power. We have power. So you have to begin to ask yourself, where is my power? How do I use it? How do I best serve myself and my family? And listen. You have to learn to listen. Otherwise, you'll hear, when we're listening, we'll hear only old things. We'll hear old advice or old narratives or tapes that are playing in our head. We have to learn to listen so that we can hear the new direction. And you have to attune yourself to that. So, at any rate, I love you all very much. My phone went dead, so my stream got cut. So I apologize for if that was a problem or anything. But use this moon to literally, you know, see how you can come into greater knowing in your own life. How can you feel safe and secure? How can you use your power? How can you tap into the invisible forces that are really present and alive and here to help? How can you tap into that, right? So these are the kinds of questions you want to learn how to ask yourself. All right, peace and blessings, everyone. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye bye.